As time is advancing, I suggest we go to really a last question. This is by Professor Gorshkov. To Fyodor, at the end of your presentation, you suggested the importance of building a new system of governance in tackling the problems of the coronavirus, as well as putting more efforts in achieving sustainable development of cities and communities. What are the factors that define this good or effective governance? Can good governance convince people to sacrifice some of their economic needs in order to pursue sustainable development? So this will be the last question and last answer for today's workshop. Fyodor, please.
Thank you very much for this question. Indeed, this is an insightful question. I'm not sure whether I can answer it straight on. Maybe I'll just mention some some things about good and effective governance. So governance should be inclusive in the first place. So what I mentioned, maybe, yeah, kind of related to my presentation, I mentioned stakeholder engagements. Recently, it's been realized that all urban stakeholders should be included in the, of course, information dissemination and also decision-making process as well. So as SDGs, no one should be left behind. And I think in my opinion, the good governance should include this stakeholder engagement and shouldn't leave the people at the margin. This is one thing. Another thing is, again, if we take the ideals of SDGs, so the good effective governance will be working towards SDGs. Yeah, not just kind of like a rivalry to compete with another region, another city, or another country. So this is more kind of like a global vision from me. Okay, and the second part, can good governance convince people to sacrifice some of their economic needs in order to pursue sustainable development? So yeah, I think this is the question about the tax. So in order to have a better governance, in order to phase out the negative externalities, there is a lot of talk about carbon tax, the tax on carbon, and so on. Of course, it will raise people's burden, economic burden. But yeah, I think good governance can convince people. I mean, just look at the North European countries. They have a big tax, such as Sweden, Norway, and so on. They have a big tax, but they also have a good progress in sustainable development as well. So yeah, I think that is possible. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's say again, big thank you to all four speakers and of course to everyone for the very interesting questions and nice discussion. So we outlined just some of the very big variety of challenges that are presented by the current COVID-19 crisis. And these challenges really pose a danger to achieving the sustainable development goals. So how we are going to respond to those challenges is actually, I think already Fyodor mentioned in his presentation that this will kind of define our future path, whether our response will lead to more us towards the path of sustainable development, or whether it will lead us back to the already well-trodden path of business as usual, vested interests, and so on. So there is not really any big solution that we can say today, but again, thank you for the nice discussions, and I hope it was interesting. And if you don't mind, I may send to all of you some information about future workshops that our research group is going to organize. So we say goodbye, but also please stay in touch and see you again. So this is how we will already conclude our workshop. Again, thank you everyone, and have a nice evening.